This episode, and indeed this project, is supported by MonsterJoysticks.com, purveyors of quality joysticks for all of your retro kit. Joysticks, adapters, arcade control parts, and more. Check them out at MonsterJoysticks.com, and we thank them for supporting The Cave. How have we gone from this soggy, damp storeroom full of boxes, about 3 months ago, I think this was, to this, the very arcade that we're stood in now, a nearly completed arcade museum. Hello, cave dwellers, and indeed...
Welcome, Arcadians!
Yes, Alex is here with me, the man behind the arcade, and we've got a big update for you. Now, those of you who follow Alex, and if you don't already subscribe to Alex's channel, pause the video right now, go to the description, there is a link, go and subscribe to him. Did you do it? You're back? Good. Alex has been doing regular updates about this build, but we've got to a point now where I think it's probably time for a big update on my channel, just to let you know where we are with it, because we're getting towards the point where we can start to sell tickets and have people come and visit. And there's just so much to tell you about the journey so far. You still got some energy left, Alex, because you were full of enthusiasm when we started.
I'm full of energy.
Yes. It's been an incredible process to see unfold, and today we're going to go through the building process. We're going to look at the cabinets that we've got so far, as well as consider the work that there is still to do, and we're going to do that all with Alex's help here. So where do we begin? I guess we begin all the way back at the start with this bit of footage of you coming in and giving us the big thumbs up.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Did you have any idea of, I guess, the task ahead of you? Had you really thought ahead to what?
I did. I just sort of an extension of my own games room, really.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So I've done a few games rooms over the years, and I just thought it was just a bigger one.
Yeah, this is true, because
you
you spent lockdown really perfecting your games room at home, didn't you?
I did.
So it was just an extension of that.
Actually. Yeah.
And it does kind of feel like that. You've certainly put your own stamp on it. It does feel like an extension of your games room, and it will continue to do so as we sort of dress the set, if you like, and you'll see the set in just a moment. But we had to start with the basics, so we stripped and we prepped the walls for painting, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a task.
We wanted to create two feature walls, two exposed walls. So here's Richard jet washing and cleaning one of those walls. And you can actually just see the edge of one of those walls here. We've got some extra lighting on for filming today, so you don't get the full effect. But if we lower the lights now, you can start to see the atmosphere that this creates. It really catches the relief on the walls, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially that natural wall there, exposed Cotswold stone, looks awesome with the coloured lights.
Yeah. Lighting is a whole thing in itself, which we'll get to in a minute. So we carried on with stripping the walls. It was really important for us to get air conditioning installed in here, not just to make it pleasant for people who are gaming in here, but also, and you can see a great big hole being drilled in the wall here where the aircon was installed by Ace Comfort Cooling in Stroud. When that first turned on, we put it in the sort of dehumidifying mode, didn't we? And
yeah.
For a week.
And it did feel like it was drawing a lot of moisture out of this room.
Well, you could see it on the outside, couldn't you?
It hadn't been used for a couple of years, had it, this room? So
decade, maybe.
Yeah, maybe more, yeah.
So, when we turned that aircon on, you could just see the water, the moisture outside going down to the drainage, and it just kept coming and coming. And then eventually it stopped, and it does indeed feel like a much drier room, because I know a lot of you had concerns about the damp on the walls and the moisture. That is definitely sorted now. It feels like a different room, smells like a different room.
Can't smell any damp in here at all, just the smell of the old CRTs.
Yeah. So that was a big relief. Next up was prepping the floor, because we wanted a nice even surface. We wanted to be able to wheel the cabinets around easily. That involved things like taking a step out, and you were then re-cementing the floor in this bit of footage. Because, that step in particular would have stopped us. It would have taken up a whole arcade cabinet's worth of space.
It did. It was quite a large footprint into the other room.
Yeah.
Plus, a slope is so much easier if I want to
wheel.
we're
not talking about that step. We're talking about that step over there first. That one over there.
Okay, so we wanted steps.
So that one we wanted out so we could get a cabinet and have some more space.
Yeah.
And then the one you're talking about is the one you're dealing with here with the jackhammer.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That was quite a hard bit of concrete to get out. It was all reinforced, but once I managed to get that out, re-concrete it, and now we've got a nice slope into that entrance room where we can wheel cabs in and out, as well as get wheelchair access up that slope.
So we've already made good use of that, bringing cabinets in and out. It really has been helpful. So that was the floor prepped. but it wasn't all about the work inside, because Alex, you overcame your fear of ladders as well, as we saw. I think we saw this in a previous video, but here it is briefly again.
Yeah, I haven't been up a ladder for a couple of years since I broke my arm, so... Plus there was a river right next to me as well.
Up a ladder in a river. And again, this was all in the name... The pipe that you moved, it could have stayed in here, but it was all in the name of giving maximum space to push cabinets up against the walls, wasn't it?
Yeah, plus I don't really want water running through this room, not with all this electronics, so it was good to get that out on the outside.
It was a waste pipe, wasn't it?
It was a waste pipe from the sink above, yeah.
Not from a toilet, just from the kitchen sink. But so we got that out, and this, again, all prep work. And I have to say, by this point, we were desperate to start painting the walls and to see cabinets in here, but, you know, we had to do all this prep. I say we, mostly Alex, had to do all this prep work to really pay dividends later and see it all come together. So the pipe work was moved outside, and then yet more prep work. Of course, we wanted the electrics to be good in here, so electrician came in.
Yeah, and it's quite difficult to judge a room this size, what the lighting's going to feel like on these machines. We don't want any reflections on the monitor because they're all at sort of 45 degrees, so you do get a reflection off the lights. So it's important to get the lights shining upwards away from the screens.
Yeah, so what was the electrician's name now?
Paul.
It was Paul the electrician. Do you remember his company?
No.
We'll put it in the description when we remember it. So Paul, first of all, he made good all the electrical sockets. He added a ton of extra electrical sockets, of course. We need as many as we can fit in here for all the cabs.
Yeah, you can never get enough sockets.
Yeah, he reversed the lighting on the ceiling above us so that it's pointing upwards, as you just mentioned. And then he put these tracks in, so you can see these on the footage now. Now, these are really, really useful. We've got a track down both sides of the rooms into which we can just click spotlights. They just sort of twist in, and we can slide them to the exact position we want them.
They're mobile. You can move them anywhere you want in the room, so it's brilliant.
Plus, the lights are RGB and Wi-Fi enabled, so I can pull out my phone, I can change the colour. We can even set them to dance to music, which you're not a fan of, eh?
Not really, no.
It's a bit school disco. There might be an occasion for it one day.
Yeah.
So we've got full flexibility about how we use these lights. And then in addition to the lights on the tracks, we've got the uplighters. So we've got 4 of those around the room here. Yeah,
and they need to be sort of positioned so they shine up the wall and you can sort of see the texture of the walls. I think they make a nice effect really in the 4 corners of this room. Just adds a little bit more colour, which is really nice.
So pop quiz for you viewers. Can you guess what this cabinet is all lit up? You just see the silhouette of it here with the green uplighter behind it. And if we zoom back a bit, you can see it next to Robotron running there with the marquee on. So you kind of get an idea of what the marquees will look like. And if you didn't guess, it is of course Gauntlet 2 in the corner there. Eventually, we're going to make an island of cabinets in the middle of the room, and that's going to have some more uplighters to kind of throw up a column of light in the middle. Light's a tricky one because until we have all the cabinets working and turned on, we don't really know how much light they're going to produce.
Exactly. There's a lot of marquee lights above the screen, so they produce a lot of light, and it will light this room up quite a bit, more than you think. So until we've got them all on, we don't really know where all the spotlights are going to go.
Yeah, so the key really has been having a certain degree of flexibility, making sure we can control the spotlights, turn the brightness up and down, same with the uplighters. And then when the cabinet's on, we can just find that balance between museum, arcade, and safety.
We want to create a nice atmosphere, don't we, as well as being able to read the descriptions of all the cabinets as you walk around, learning the history of all the games.
Yeah, and signage is something we'll come on to in just a moment. And if we take a look at Space Invaders here, I'm just turning the marquee on. You can see it flick on there. And there's a nice effect between the Space Invaders marquee light and then the lights, in this case, gently changing on the wall behind it. Let us know what you think watching some of this footage. If you think it should be a solid colour or how it should work. It's very much experimental at the moment.
Yeah, I think with some of the cabs, because they're a particular colour, it's nice to complement that colour. You know? But the others, you just change them around.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We went off on a bit of a tangent there about the lighting, so let's get back to the build process itself. Tell us about how much you loved painting these walls.
Not very much at all. I hated it. I hate painting anyway, you know. I am a builder, but I deal with masonry, not paint, and trying to stab this white paint on these really gnarly walls.
It was horrible.
Got bored very quickly.
It was horrible. The walls were prepped by Josh, at least down low, with, what did he prep them with? He washed them.
He put a sealant to stop the water, like a stain proofer on the wall.
So we got that on there,
and
then we spent days stabbing the brushes into the wall to get them painted, several coats. But it was well worth it because when we get the lights on them,
it looks fresh.
It looks fresh and it works well. It throws the colours around nicely. So it was well worth going to all that effort. So we did that. Richard built some shutters for all the windows. He lined them with some, I don't know what the material was, but he lined them with some
ply.
Behind it though, to stop the light coming through, there was some rubber that he fitted in there.
Okay, it was just like a plastic membrane.
Just a membrane, which means all of the light is completely blacked out in here. So that's brilliant, because it's nice to open them once in a while if we need to, but it just helps that light, again, helps us create the perfect atmosphere, whether it's 9 in the morning for the hardcore gamers, or if it's an evening session, we can get the light consistent throughout. Do you think you'll have people queuing out here at 9 in the morning? It'd be like people waiting for the pub to open.
That would be amazing. 9 in the morning.
Addicts,
they're very
the real
keen.
addicts.
Yeah.
And then what you're seeing here is Richard building the frame in the smaller room, which will be Alex's set. I love this time lapse because it just, you slowly see this thing come together, and it's amazing when it's finished.
He's amazing carpentry skills. You know, I didn't know Richard had it in him, but it is so cool.
Yeah.
And it makes for a great set. I'm really, really pleased with it. And to have those little alcoves either side for a machine that we want to start the story off with, it's just fantastic.
And from a practical point of view, it gives you all the storage.
We need.
It doesn't give you all the storage you need, but it gives you more storage than you had.
I might have to move up to the cave for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to make a really great YouTube set, and you have already started using it, as we see from this footage here. Here's you and Richard filming your last episode over on your channel, which I hope you've been to subscribe to already. And the thing that's standing out now that looks so gorgeous is the floor. So we set to work on a resin floor in that room. So here's a time lapse now of, I think it starts with you cleaning it with your mop.
Yeah.
Giving it a good clean, because this
about
stuff's
5 times.
filthy. About 5 times. And then Richard comes in with his sander and keys it up and sands any lumps and bumps to try and get it smooth. I think we always knew we were never going to get this floor perfect.
Yeah, because we're only putting down a millimetre, if that, of this resin, and to really get it dead straight, as dead level and smooth, you probably need to put down at least 5 millimetres of resin, and that costs a hell of a lot of money.
So that can get above any lumps and bumps and relief, and then sort of self-level.
Yeah.
We weren't going to go into the realms of thousands of, four figures. This was very much 3-figure job, but we were really pleased with how it came out. So Richard keyed it up, and then the resin was laid in 2 sessions, 2 separate Fridays, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you had the first lot. Oh my God, this stuff stank, didn't it?
It was unbearable, yeah. We had fans going to try and push the fumes out of the door, one end. We had masks on, glass, so you have to make sure you're well kitted up with safety equipment, because it is really strange stuff to work with.
Yeah, you could smell it 3 floors up. It just permeated the whole building. But after a couple of days, it was gone. It cured, and it's a really hardy surface. It's a nice
smooth floor to move cabs around on, and it's quite impressive when you walk in the room.
It is, and it became even more impressive when we added some lighting in those alcoves. So here you can see the set now with the light reflecting on the floor there. It looks gorgeous. And then just this morning, Alex turned up with your coveted Sheriff.
Sheriff, yes.
Beautiful.
It's nice seeing that move to its new home, actually.
It may not stay in that alcove.
No, because it's got such beautiful side art. I think we want to show that. We really want cabinets with literally no side art to go in those alcoves.
So, but it gives an idea of how we want to use that space. And when Alex is filming, he's going to be, he's going to have his cabinets either side of him. You're thinking about probably an Atari Pong in there in the longer term. So you'll see, as you come in, you'll see that lovely set, and you'll see the earliest example of an arcade game that we're going to have. Unless something earlier turns up. Are there many arcades earlier than Pong?
Computer space, and that's it. We'll have trouble finding one of those.
So, it's the start of the journey, and you've got this beautiful floor, you've got this lovely set, and you've got Alex waiting there to shake your hand as you come in.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day.
But Richard's carpentry skills didn't end there, did they? Because I don't think he talked to either of us about this. He just magically turned up one day and said, "I've built a door."
Incredible door. A stable door.
A stable door, so we can get that arcade horse you always wanted.
Just need some carrots.
So this will be, I guess this would be shut when people arrive, and it can kind of build a sense of anticipation. There's the door through.
Just finishing touches like that make it special, this place. A talking point. It's just a really nice thing to do. He's made a...
I thought you were going to say a talking horse then. That would be incredible. Talking point, yes.
Yeah, we could have one of those horses where we dress up. I'll be in the front, you be in the back.
A pantomime horse.
A pantomime horse.
Yeah, what were we talking about? The door.
The door.
Yeah, it's a lovely. It's got a television built into it, hasn't it? So you can
so we could display track screens from games, or us building the arcade.
Latest episode.
Yeah, latest episode of YouTube.
Agenda for if you've got a full day with a guest speaker or anything like that. It's flexible. There are other televisions that have been installed sort of around the place to again, just give us flexibility so we can shape days, whether it be a day with your UK backers, whether it be a corporate booking or a party or whatever people want to use this space for. We've got all the options
or even
there.
we could display high scores on there. We have a high score table on the screens for something for you guys to go for, which would be quite cool.
I like it. Or Alex's scores to beat or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, this door, Richard, he also 3D printed the logo. He's added 3 buttons to the door. We don't know what they're going to do yet.
Are they Sanwa buttons?
Genuine Samurai arcade parts. I don't know what's going on in Richard's mind, what those buttons are going to do, but I'm sure it will be brilliant.
Oh, really? He's got more plans for it.
There's 3. The buttons aren't just there for looks. They're going to do something.
That's what I say. He's not telling me anything. So.
It might be you. Press it and go, "Hello, Arcadians."
Talking door.
Talking door. There we go. We can't quite do the horse, but we can promise you a talking door. And then, of course, you step into the main arcade. Now, there will be arcade cabinets, as you saw with Sheriff, and we talked about Pong in the small room. So it's not all confined to one room. But as you come through that door that Richard's built, the cabinets become the focus. Of course, it's an arcade museum. It's all about the arcades. Just talk us through. Have you any thoughts about how you're going to lay these out? Because we're just by the door here. And silkworms appeared temporarily, but there was gunfight there, Seawolf, Blue Shark. So these are the very earliest examples. Yeah,
so a timeline, which is what I'm trying to create.
Right,
I mean, I'm limited on what games I can actually find, but being in the hobby for so long, I know a lot of collectors, and they've stepped forward and they helped out with the museum. So Seawolf is a cabinet that's been loaned to us. Fantastic game, a Dave Nutting game. I never thought I'd see a Seawolf in here, but the idea is to start off with the Bronze Age games and then work our way through the time.
We'll go from Pong in the other room through the Bronze Age. Excuse my ignorance, but is Pong considered Bronze Age or pre-Bronze Age?
Yeah, I suppose black and white games are the bronze. Even Space Invaders is bronze.
Okay, so as soon as it turns from electromechanical to video games, that's your Bronze Age?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So we go from the earliest, follow it round.
And then Galaxian, first colour game.
Okay.
Which you've got in the cave.
Yeah,
that's when it goes.
Down.
Yeah. Sorry. It's not yours forever.
It's not.
And then we go into the classic 80s era of games, which I love. And Galaxian kicks it off in colour. A bit like Wizard of Oz, all the black and white, and then suddenly you go into colour.
Into colour, and then we'll follow it all the way around. The Jammer cabinets. And actually, just looking at these Jammer cabinets, you can see how dusty they are. Yes, we promise everything is going to get a clean and a service. In fact, you're making a video this afternoon with Richard, who is Richard. When he's not making doors, when he's not making wardrobes, he is, of course, a fantastic electronics engineer, and he's going to be servicing all the machines. So you've already done some preliminary investigations on videos with him, haven't you, about cabs?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of work on a lot of these machines. Not all of them, but some have got small issues, graphics issues. Some need complete restorations, like the gunfight, which we're going to tackle this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to that one.
So you're going to take a look at that. You're going to take a look at Tempest this afternoon.
Yeah.
So there'll be all these videos on Alex's channel. Initially, just let's get as many as we can up and running, and then longer term there'll be full series, full restorations, going through all the processes. You've already talked to me about rechroming feet and legs and sandblasting and repro art and everything else that's involved in restoring these cabinets. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of those videos.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully it's a process that you can follow, and if you've got cabinets at home, that gives you some ideas on how to restore these machines. You know. And
an appreciation when you come here and visit, if indeed you do, as to the work that's gone into all of them. But what a lineup we've got so far. Let's just take a look at some of these images. So just in this image alone, now this is not necessarily in the order that they're going to be in because they need to be reshuffled according to your timeline idea. But we've got Star Wars, Ghosts and Goblins, Tapper, Mooncrest, Operation Wolf, Burger Time, Double Dragon, all in one shot. I mean, that corner alone would keep me entertained for days. Spinning round, we've got Cuba, Robotron, Tempest, Defender, Missile Command, Space Invaders, all lined up there. This is just the start of it. I mean, Alex has been collecting cabs earlier this week, and you've got even more to collect later this week. There's so many more to come. We're going to have more cabinets than we can actually fit in here, aren't we?
I think we are now, yeah. Because, again, the community stepped forward and offered us so many amazing machines. I've still yet to pick them up.
Yeah.
And I've been driving up and down the country, picking these from Southampton to Fife, literally all over the country. But it's been well worth it because, as you can see, the machines we've got in here, I never thought we'd get. It's just amazing.
The van's holding up now after just all the breakdowns. God, Alex's van broke down about 4 times in 2 weeks. It cost you an absolute fortune. We were worried for a while, but it seems to be holding up now. So thank goodness.
Yeah.
Here's another one that arrived this week, Silkworm. I was actually quite pleased to see this one. Not a lot of people talk fondly about this cabinet, but we've all got our own different personal memories about what cabinets mean to us.
Did it mean more to people on the home computers or consoles? Because I don't remember playing it back in the day.
Well, speaking from my own personal experience, Silkworm was the first ever Commodore Amiga game that I played. It came out in 1989.
Right.
And I recognised it as being a really great port because before that, growing up, don't ask, but I used to play arcade games in a police station. Our local police station had a social club with a snooker room. We could just rock up and play snooker in as kids. Arcades. So it had Silkworm. At one point it had Popeye. It had, what's the Moon Buggy one? Is it?
Moon Patrol.
Moon Patrol. Had Moon Patrol 1942. So I used to go and play all of these, knowing that, you know, the bad kids wouldn't rock up and shake me down for my money because I was in a police station. But I remember Silkworm being great. And then when I first played it on this computer called an Amiga, which I'd not seen before, this was the first thing I played on it. I was like, wow, this is so close to the arcade. Yeah. This is incredible. So that's why I love Silkworm.
Yeah, it's a unique and quite a rare conversion kit. I think they only made it for a Williams cabinet. So that cabinet is a Moon Patrol cabinet.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And it's been converted to Silkworm. So yeah, it's quite unusual. We're going to leave that as is. We might just get the Moon Patrol artwork back.
Okay.
To what it is, so you can see what it was before it became that. Because at the moment it's all painted black.
Yeah, because conversions are part and parcel of the history of these cabinets, aren't they? So there's no shame. It's not wrong to show that this is one cabinet running another game.
Exactly, because if it wasn't earning any money, then for the operator, he had to bring another game in. But they overcome that with kits.
Yeah, yeah. In this case, they did paint over the side art. I mean, you wouldn't have necessarily have seen the side art. It would have just been crammed up against other machines.
Exactly.
It's not the best paint job on the side of this, is it?
No, I think it'll come off easy enough.
We'll strip it down. Yeah. Hopefully we'll find some nice art under there, and if not, we can repaint it or whatever, and make it look a lot nicer. But I'm looking forward to playing that one. Now, I want to talk about a couple more games. First of all, the most unique game that you've got in here, which has got to be Sky Skipper.
An unreleased game by Nintendo.
Never released. And the only reason this exists is because, we'll just go very quickly over it because there's a whole load of videos, long story on Alex's channel. But Alex found and identified a Sky Skipper board, unreleased, which had been converted to run Popeye. You recognised from the serial number that it was this previously Sky Skipper that had been reused. Went through the whole process of getting it reverted to run Sky Skipper ROMs. and then built the cabinet. And that involved going to Nintendo of America itself to get scans of the artwork. Billy Mitchell was involved, and Walter Day somewhere along the line. It's a fantastic story, so check it out on Alex's channel. But it's a thing of beauty, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, and I think it deserves to be in a museum for people to play. I mean, it's not a fantastic game, but it's the whole story about the game that's fascinating. It's got so much to tell, that game. It is a weird game. It's got a very Japanese feel about it, and I can understand why it didn't do well in America, because people just don't quite understand what you have to do to begin with.
Yeah, it's quite confusing.
It is, yeah, but it's a beautiful cabinet, a typical Nintendo cabinet, and it's got a fantastic story. You know, it has to be in a museum, and I can't wait for people to see it and play it. I really can't.
It's quite nice in a way to play a Nintendo game who are known for releasing so many fantastic arcades and going, okay, yeah, I get why they didn't release this. I see the bits that worked and the bits that didn't work, and then you can step to Donkey Kong that's next to it and go, okay, this is one that.
Well, that's what they judged the success of Sky Skipper on. Donkey Kong, basically. Okay. I mean, Donkey Kong had over 100,000 plays. We know that because it's got a coin counter inside, whereas Sky Skipper only got 20,000. So they scrapped it.
Yeah.
It's not going to earn us any money. It's not.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Reuse the cabinet, reuse the boards, and that was the end of Sky Skipper. Until you came along.
Yeah.
and your friend, who was it that you did it with?
Whitney Roberts.
Whitney.
My partner in crime, yeah. He, without Whitney actually getting involved, because a lot of the story unfolds in America, naturally, because that's where Nintendo America tried to distribute it. It was good to have Whitney on board because he had contacts like Billy Mitchell, who actually got the world record on Donkey Kong, got invited into Nintendo of America, and that's where he saw Sky Skipper in the lobby of Nintendo of America. So yeah, it's a fascinating story.
He was able to say to you, yeah, it does exist.
It does exist, and I can get you in contact with the guys there.
Yeah. So from that unique game to an incredibly popular game, a game that helped to define the arcades. Where's Pac-Man?
Oh, we don't have a Pac-Man because I'm no fan of Pac-Man, but that's not
how an arcade museum and no Pac-Man.
I know, I should be picking games that other people like, not just myself. We will get a Pac-Man, guys, we will get one.
Yeah, Pac-Man, Puck-Man, Upright, Cocktail, whatever we can get hold of. It's got to be represented here somewhere. So, quite a large omission, but we'll sort that out one step at a time. And then the other thing you'll notice as we stand and talk to you now is that we've also got a black floor down here. Now, we didn't go with the resin in here, did we?
No, it was too much, too big an area. And actually, it was your idea to put this floor down because this is what you have in the cave.
In the hands-on area in the cave, it's this clipped-together floor. And it's worked really well for a number of reasons. Nice, lovely, consistent black colour, which was so much better. I think even if we painted the floor black, we would have, you would have seen all the lumps and bumps and things. So it's lovely and smooth, which is great for you to move the cabinets around on. Yeah,
and it feels insulated a bit more in here as well because of it, I think.
Kind of soft to walk on, which is nice. And acoustically, I mean...
It's dampened the sound a bit.
Dampened the sound. You might be getting a bit of echo because it is still a big room, but it's dampened the sound in here. Nice. It just feels nice. So it's worked out well. Easy maintenance, just run a mop over it. So that probably saved us about 2 weeks, if not more. If we were going to resin this floor, it would have taken a long time. Yeah,
it's a lot of preparation putting that resin floor down.
Would have cost a fortune.
And this we literally put down in an hour. Okay, moving the cabs around was probably more work than putting the floor down, but it went down really easy actually, didn't it?
Yeah. So we're really pleased with that. We're just waiting for some edge pieces to arrive just to finish it off. And there's lots of finishing touches now that we need to apply to this place. A few little things we want to box in, a few little touches of paint here and there. And then it's really just dressing. It's logos, it's making sure we're happy with the lighting.
UV lighting maybe.
Yeah. And the cabinets. Oh, and music. Now, it would be lovely to have some 80s music, a bit of, Cyndi Lauper, that's your favourite, isn't it?
No.
No, what would you have blasting out in here?
Depeche Mode.
Bit of Depeche Mode, something like that. But we're not really clued up on licensing. What do we need? Maybe someone out there can help us. What do we need to be able to play that as a business when people come and visit? Because I do play music up in the cave, but I only play a very specific playlist from which I've got permission of the chap who released it and made that music. So I only play that music because I don't want to be in breach of any laws. But I think it would be really cool to have 80s music.
Definitely.
playing
They
here,
go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah. So we'll try and figure that out. Obviously, you have to turn it off when you make your YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we want to get some music in here. Anything else you want to any finishing touches that you need?
Yeah, I think on the shutters I was thinking about maybe having our logo, Arcade Archive, in a UV paint. So I was thinking maybe getting a stencil and doing UV logos on these shutters, which I think would look quite cool.
Yep.
And maybe some more sort of maybe marquee lighting,
Yep.
neons. I'm a big fan of neons. I know that they're not cheap, but they add to it as well.
Well, we've got a lot of flexibility. We've got loads of plug sockets. All the plug sockets are on smart plugs now. We can put UV lights in the tracking if we need to. We've got so much flexibility in here to do what we want. And then finally, to make this feel like a museum and not purely like an arcade, there is the information boards and the signage. Now you've had some help writing up information about the cabs.
Yeah, Tony Temple, the world champion at Missile Command, has helped us out.
Amazing. He just emailed us with information on every single cabinet we've had, nice block of text information. Richard's been working on 3D prints. Now we've been really struggling with how to display this information. At first we thought maybe we have some black wire hanging down with the information boards. Looks nice when you do one, but when you have 40 information boards in here and the aircon on and they're all kind of waving about a little bit, it's like you're under the sea. It's a bit, it didn't work. I think we're pretty happy with these 3D printed sign holders that Richard's come up with. The only thing is when it's dark, we want to make sure that text is readable. So we're going to look at options of, we were talking about lighting up the text with UV to maybe make it glow in the dark. Or clipping lights on top of those signs or backlighting it. We're still experimenting with that, but I feel like we're a bit closer to a solution.
Yeah, again, until all the machines are on, because the machines are going to light up this space as well, it might be okay. They might be okay.
Yeah.
But again, we need to get a lot of them going.
Yeah. Because we just want people to be able to stand back from a machine, read a bit of signage and be able to just sort of take it in and appreciate it.
It's really important that they learn about the history of the games because there's a lot to learn. You know, they've all got a story to tell.
Yeah. So
it'd be great to have the descriptions above each cabinet. And they're not all easy to put on, are they? Because some of them are angled.
Yep.
Some of them are quite high.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And we want any youngsters that come in here to be able to see and read that signage and learn a little bit. You might even have school groups someday. You looking forward to a school group? Hammering Sky Skipper, Alex? Sticky fingers?
Not really, no.
So I hope that brings you up to speed on what we've been doing for the last few months here. It's been a great experience. It's been great working with Alex. There's so much more to do. We've kicked off a new ticketing system which will cover both the cave and the arcade, so people can decide if they want to do a full day here, half day in the cave. Just give us the flexibility to work on that. We've got a website being worked on for you. There's loads more to do, isn't there?
Insurance.
Oh yeah, there's all these things to think about. Insurance, public liability
yeah.
Insurance on the machines themselves.
Some more banners maybe for outside so you can see where the entrance is.
Yeah. Advertising, flyers, all the rest of it. We've got a lot to figure out.
The fun part now I think starts.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, the fun part.
Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed this update. Of course, follow Alex's channel. I haven't said it enough times in this video already. Follow Alex's channel and subscribe to see just this afternoon a video that he's going to be working on with he's going to take apart that electromechanical gunfight.
Sega gunfight, 1970.
And we're going to have Richard's expertise to explain what's inside and make a shopping list and an idea of what we need to do with that, as well as Tempest. It's going to be great. So go and check out Alex's channel. I'll do another update when we are fully up and running because you're going to have a soft launch with some VIPs, friends and family, aren't you?
Definitely, yeah, that'd be nice.
So we'll get some footage from that so you can feel a part of it, because I know so many of you, you're all over the world. You're not going to get a chance, all of you, to come here, but hopefully through the channel you can live vicariously through us and feel a part of it. And we'll keep you updated. So we'll have another video when it's all ready and open, and then it's all about Alex's channel and what he's doing over there. And I really hope that if you come and visit the cave, you'll also come and visit the arcade and just, you know what we're missing? We're missing the cafe. That's what we need.
Cafe, yeah.
Cafe.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to open a cafe in the Vale, Now that the arcade's here, there's going to be an even bigger footfall than just the cave. So come and sell your sandwiches. We need a cafe
Yeah,
here.
that would be good. We do need that.
Maybe a bar.
Yeah, local beer,
Yeah,
be nice.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's always something else.
Can't
to
wait
do.
to get the people in here. Feel
Get the people in
atmosphere.
here.
Yeah.
And especially, I'm really looking forward to your soft launch because I know you're inviting all the people that have loaned machines to you, people who have been so good to you over the years in the community, helping each other out.
Yeah, I think that's important to give them the opportunity first to come here and see what we got because they've been so good to us. But of course, I'm looking forward to everyone coming here, really. I just enjoy chatting with you guys about all these amazing games. You know, I can't wait for that day.
Yeah. Great. Well, here's one last walkthrough of the arcade. Thank you again for watching. It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me. Good night.